Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Shut up and sit down.
Here we go!
Would you kindly?
I think we're just getting started.
Medic! I'm a witcher.
I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
Hey, everybody. You are listening to part 2 of the Overseas Connection podcast, episode 550. Today is October 27th, 2019, and we are all kinds of messed up. We've got time zone changes going on. Some of us are still, no, not totally jet lagged, but kind of there. It's a crazy time of year. But hey, if you're listening to this right now, it's because you are listening to us live on Twitch, Mixer, possibly YouTube. If you are not listening to us live and you are listening to this on the audio version, it's because you are maybe at the gym, you didn't feel like watching us live, and you're saying, you know what, hey, I could just download this on iTunes, on Stitcher, on whatever podcast medium I have, and you're finding us there. And that's good. We want you to listen to us regardless of being live or not. But if you do want to listen to us live, remember, you can just tune in every Sunday, 9 p.m. in the UK. Time zone changes notwithstanding, it will always be 9 p.m.-ish. in the UK. And then 1 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 p.m. in the East Coast, 3 p.m. Central, normally. I say normally. Again, time zone changes, kind of messing with that. All right. We do have a couple birthdays we should be celebrating. Apparently, David Naylor is going to get nailed with another birthday on Monday. Sorry, David. A little bit older. A little bit wiser. And then some guy, I don't know who this guy is. Pete Chin, I don't know. It sounds like a made-up name if you ask me. But he's
who the hell is that?
Apparently,
good-looking dude.
Yeah, really old, good-looking dude. Apparently, yeah. He's having a birthday. Look, 70 is not easy to embrace, Pete. But we really appreciate you taking that, embracing it, taking it on. Don't be afraid of it. It's okay.
I've still got the hair color.
You do. It's not a silver ginger at all. It is straight ginger. Absolutely. Yeah. I can verify the curtain matches the drapes. I guess actually that's not really true because I just basically said the curtain and drapes, which is the same thing. It's what I get for drinking before the podcast. It's the carpet and the curtain.
There we go.
Matches. Yeah. All right. Or drapes. And,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You know what I was trying to get at. All right. Well, we've already figured out who's on this podcast so far. We've got Pete Chin, Old Man Pete. Pete, welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Thank you, Greg.
Cheers. We also have the lovely, oiled up Miss Kim Woods.
Howdy. Oh, dear.
And finally, we have janitor from the local 505, Robin Tate, cleaning up all of the throw up in these classrooms.
I'm dressed. Good evening.
we really honestly appreciate that, Robin. Okay. And if you don't know who I am, again, Greg DeLacy, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. We'll be guiding you through your video game podcast for today. And it is a video game podcast. Well, of course, we talk about everything. So not just video games. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And I think it's appropriate. Maybe we talk about some story time right about now, Robin. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that's a...
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. What?
Wait. Okay. Maybe we should be nice and give Pete a nice birthday jingle.
Fuck you, Pete, you fucking old man. You're so fucking old. Your ginger's going grey. Birthday songs.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
There you go. Fuck it.
Yep.
40 years old.
All right.
Yeah, 40. Like 40. You're going to be 40. Next weekend, 40. You never know what might happen. There's stories about getting ready for your 40th podcast as well. So, back to that.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Story time.
Yes.
Hooray, story time. Hooray, story time. I'm so glad to be with you today.
Yay.
All right. So I'm going to lead some story time. So I've experienced post EGX blues.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not EGX because honestly, that show I could care less.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. The show was, but I definitely. I mean, this whole entire week, I was reflecting on my visit to the UK, and for those of you who don't know, I spent the last week in the UK. Visited Ireland to start, then downgraded by going to London, but that's okay. I kid. But no, I think back to that week, and it was just an amazing week. And I cannot thank my wife enough for letting me go and take this trip on. I cannot thank you, Pete, you, Robin, and some dick named Mike Chin that didn't carry through on his bet. But I have to thank him anyway, because the three of you really took on a huge role of being you were my tour guides. You made everything work, and I am forever grateful.
Okay.
And that is honest.
So at this point, I would usually be sarcastic and cutting and abrasive and say something really stupid like, you silly boy. But I'm not going to do that.
Not
because
you.
The whole week, and I think I speak for an awful lot of us that experienced just EGX, but the ones that were lucky enough to spend some time away with Greg, that's Mike, Pete, and myself in Ireland, and Pete, and that other fella, Mike, yes, him, in London. It was a ball. And now I have to say, it's been a crazy busy 2 weeks, unbelievably so. But Greg, you were a wonderful guest. Jesse Robbins, I have to stop myself from being freaking talking about the shit left on the sheets.
Hey, I tried to clean up, man.
No.
I tried to clean up.
It was great, and we done this whistle stop tour of Northern Ireland and a lot of the sets of Game of Thrones, and you went over a little rope bridge over some beautiful coastline, and we went back to some more sets, but we were in a little cave that you can only get into when the tide was out.
No, Robin, your childhood cave. That was the most amazing part about it. This was like.
So I haven't been down there in 20 odd years, and I go, this is like my dad used to fish here, and I went down here. The tide was out, and we went in, and everything was just great. And the day before, we went to DeLacy Castle, and it was brilliant, and I loved having you here. My family loved having you here as well, look, it sounds maudlin and all that, but we have met before. We met in San Francisco before, and that was great. But this was time. That was, the wives were there and stuff like that, and it was busy.
It was different.
Tight schedule.
Yeah.
And this was really one-on-one time, and it was lovely to realize that we're not just friends through chatting once a week or a couple of times a week and some messages. We really are friends, and that's a fantastic thing that has happened through this medium and this community.
Yeah, no, there's something to be said about friendship over the internet versus actual understanding. You get along with someone for an extended period of time in person.
Yeah.
And it was amazing for me. I knew I would get along with you, Robin, but obviously, you had to put up with me for pretty much 48 hours,
and then you went over to London, you had a great time there, and then we had the EGX weekend, and some of the stuff that happened at EGX, Pilch in the chat, some of the stuff that happened at EGX, for my benefit, what happened on tour stays on tour. We'll touch on some of it, but please, I would appreciate if you have incriminating photographs of myself and video, be very careful where you distribute them. What I do when I'm away for that weekend is very different than I am on a normal day-to-day basis. So, yeah.
I think it's appropriate at this point in time that we do highlight that no animals were hurt during the entire EGX tour that we know of. I want to highlight one pivotal moment in my EGX experience. It wasn't so much my EGX experience. This is my London experience. So we went on a Jack the Ripper tour, or so we attempted to. Ooh. And Pete, myself, and Mike Chin. Mike was awesome. Mike was trying to book stuff for me to do, And so he saw this Jack the Ripper tour. So we had to be at this area at 7:30 at night. And so we get there, and we got there probably about 7-ish. So we had some time to kill. So Pete and I saw there was a wine bar, and we're like, let's go in the wine bar. So we go into the wine bar. And when we go into the wine bar, there's a jar of what looked to be nuts sitting on the table of the wine bar. And there was like, you could buy some, I guess, and put them in a dish or something like that. But I instantly see those, and I'm like, they've got corn nuts. And Mike, who is not familiar with corn nuts, but I had given him a bag of corn nuts, was like, we don't have corn nuts here. And I was like, no, those are corn nuts. We placed a wager on that. Sure enough, they had a jar full of corn nuts. I think it's the only corn nuts in all of London, outside of the ones that I smuggled into your country.
Right.
But then from there, we drank our wine. We walk out at 7:30, right on time. And this to me was the ultimate, just like, it put an exclamation point onto my week, which was we walked out, and honestly, the whole tour thing went sideways, like tits up. The tour guide never showed. And there was about 11 different people. We were all standing around going, what the hell? What's going on? And we all just start talking. And there were some people from America. There were some people from Canada. And we all just started joking and getting along. And ultimately, all of us just end up going to pubs and having beers and drinking the rest of the night.
Brilliant.
And it was absolutely awesome.
And sometimes those nights are the best. Just when a spontaneous night like that.
Yep,
so
yep.
I don't want to rattle over everything that we went through, and it was the audio booth.
No. I know. I just wanted to point out that the purpose of this really, Robin, was to point out that Mike owes me lunch.
Yeah. That happens a lot. So, but I mean, there's lots of things there that we did. I mean, we had this big house just beside the exhibition center, and part of me, because it was booked in my name, all right, and I use Airbnb quite a bit, and the way it works is, you leave them a review, and they leave you a review. So as a guest, you're reviewed as well for other potential. Yes. So, not that I thought badly of anybody, but there was the possibility of TVs going through the windows, rock and roll. and if anything, it was the exact opposite. So I caught Pilch in the kitchen cleaning.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great bunch. We still had fun. We funny things we did, like funny things that happened, like Stu standing with a VR headset on for most of the night, just looking down at his feet, rocking from side to side.
He was DJing for the room, you know.
Yeah, funny enough, he went live on Friday or Thursday morning on Facebook, and I was driving in the car, and I hit watch while I was driving. So, and I must have listened to him for about 3/4 of an hour. I wasn't watching, it was just his hand, but it was the music was coming through when I was driving the car. So he was my driving music. So look, lots of little things, and there's little flashback things. We had great fun. If you haven't listened to the audio booze that Mike Chin has put out on the Veteran Gamer stream of the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday, they're brilliant. It's really fun, and it really is
it is also up on. We have a whole podcast. Yeah, we have it up on our feed.
And it's just a real insight to what our days are like, because he started recording early morning, wee snippets here and there. Isn't that right, Pete? And all the way through the day and all nighttime, and from the show to the restaurants to lunchtime to and then we went to the escape rooms and the meal and all the bits and pieces that we'd done. It was just great. So. Meeting yourself and Fraser and the little Ewok, Gary, just absolutely fabulous. It was fantastic. And one for the books, very much so.
Absolutely.
And other things that I really loved. Pete was fantastic. I put Pete through his paces big style.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Do you know what? I heard you talking about, me pouring you the shots, and you thinking this is a big thing. That was just kind of normal to me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. I didn't even consider that was just shot. That was just a drink. So, and then seeing you that first morning going, what have you done? How can you do this? And I'm dancing around going, just brilliant. And then you got
The thing that really peed me off the most, he was just running around the room like a spring chicken. Greg was smiling like a Cheshire cat, and I was just like, "This is just not right at all."
See, this is
I think for me, yeah, for me, the reason why I was smiling most was because Pete, the night before, in your drunken stupor as you were getting ready to go to bed, you're looking at me and you're like, "You're not getting up. I'm getting up in the morning and I'm going to be swimming. You're not getting up." And you were so like almost angry about it. You were just like, "You better go to sleep. You're not getting up. I'm going to be up. You're not getting up." And you were emphatic about it.
All right, so I'll say one house guest, and he's in the chat right now. I'm really happy. Pilch, you're a good lad. You have this persona of being this sarcastic Pilch. I'm a dude. I don't care. Blah blah blah. But honestly, you were a great house guest, housemate, Love Island, whatever you wanted to call it. You're a good lad, and the mask dropped. You're a really nice fella, and I'm glad I spent some time with you, Pilch. So,
100% agree.
Yeah.
Pilch, you were, yes, a bit of a surprise. I didn't know what to expect from Pilch because there's this persona that I hear, and my interaction with Pilch hadn't been, nearly as much as you would hope. And that really was, I mean, I could say that for a lot of the house guests, but in my mind, I had Pilch being a certain way, and he was almost polar opposite of what in my head I had made him out to be, and that's not a overtly positive or overtly negative, because I think he still has his sarcastic moments, which is just part of his personality, which I absolutely love. But he was endearing to me because I caught him walking down the stairs when Pete was supposed to be walking down the stairs, and I'm like, "You're not Pete," and he looked at me and he's like, "No, I'm not."
So it was it's been a fantastic week, 2 weeks. Now, some of you softies took days off, but I've had an unbelievably crazy busy week because on the Monday morning straight after the show, I was at it early doors. I was I'm really busy all week. I had to work on a big installation this morning with my guys. Now, not that my hands are soft. I don't do a lot of it. I just, put that over there and I'll take some plastic off these things. But it's been crazy busy. On top of that, pretty much everybody in my house is vomiting. I am so glad to get out of there. There's been... Okay, so one of the boys last night, 2 o'clock in the morning, there's two of our lads. One of them is really good. He will go and vomit in the toilet, clean himself up, go back to bed, and tell you the next morning that he'd been sick. One is really good at that. This other one, not so much. Almost 100% entirely, and to the best of his ability, completely and utterly missed the toilet in every shape or form. He puked over his bed and the carpet about like a 4 or 5 foot strip of chunky, thick, horrible puke. So my eldest, who Joshua, was at the house over the weekend, and he came upstairs at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, "Dad, hey, Corey's been sick." So I come downstairs and go, "Oh no, Corey, you couldn't." So I tried to get to the toilet. Corey, there's nothing in the toilet. So I'm there.
Sometimes you just can't do it, man.
Gloves, masks, a dustpan and shovel, getting it off, and then yeah. So there's that, and then Taylor today. There's out with Judith, and he just gets in. I'm gonna be sick, and Jasmine's been sick all week, and she's been up 3 nights this week at like 3 and 4 in the morning. And Judith and I have been doing tag team, and there's been that much sick in the house that there's that much sick you actually feel sick because you can feel and smell it, and you actually feel.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm having whiskey right now, just to try and kill it. It's the first drink I've had all flipping since EGX. So yeah, it's been a hell of a week.
Good man.
Hell of a week.
Yeah. By the way, just another post thought, because all those kids were getting sick when I was there. I was dreadfully fearful that I was going to be coming home with something.
And I'm not sick.
Amazingly.
I haven't been. I might get it yet, but I'm amazed if it don't, to be honest with you. But I mean, I usually the week after a big show like that, and you know, I did have my antiseptic-y cream this year, and I was doing that, even though I lent it to Stu Fowler after he did.
I found it's
awful
best
in
you
the
just
toilets.
lick the germs off your hand. Just lick it.
Yeah, well,
So with best intention, and she blew when I got back. I even had to have 2 days off work. I was done in, and I'd go to work dying, and I was just wrecked. I just couldn't go. And I felt really bad phoning in sick. But I forgot to do that every time I come off the controllers to put that gel on my hand. I just completely forgot, man. Proper schoolboy error.
Yeah, well, there we go. So, look, fantastic time. Next year, or whatever our meetups are, please, you know, you got to come along. You got to come.
Yeah.
Now, next year, probably Greg won't be there, and Fraser won't be there, and Gary won't be there. But that's only 3 people. They didn't.
I know.
They didn't.
It's Kim's turn.
Yeah.
It's Kim's turn. Yep.
Kim's turn.
There you go, Kim.
Fuck me.
One gal,
Imagine that.
like 10 guys. I'm just saying.
Jesus Christ.
It could make for a fun weekend.
They're straighten you out there, girl. Oh my God. No, just come. You know what? The show itself, we don't need to dabble about the show. We've done all that. It wasn't great, but again, we've said it again. It's about the friendship every year, and this year,
Show is second.
yeah, even more so. And Fraser, just a dude. Gary, brilliant, and everybody that was there, fantastic. We all. Got
By the way, I met Fraser's mom and dad.
Yeah, I heard all about this. Yeah, Mike was telling
Amazing.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you seen
It was
Windsor
like
Castle and everything as well.
saw Windsor Castle, met the family. Fraser's kind of a big deal. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
He's got royaled the same day as some royal family member.
Yeah, the horse one.
Married.
Prince Charles's second wife. Yeah. They get married in the same church. There's photographs. There's a photograph I've seen of them, a newspaper cutting. They were the next wedding or the next day or whatever it was. Camilla Parker Bowles and Prince Charles. Yes.
I don't know. I looked at Fraser's parents and I was like, "Oh my God, how did you come out the way you came out? Your parents are so normal." Such a nice family. So yeah, that was the cherry on top of the ice cream. It was just so unexpected, and to be invited into the house to have coffee with his mom and dad, I was just like, okay. I'm like, I got time to kill, and so we just had coffee. We just chilled.
Yeah.
By the way, instant coffee. I did not realize instant coffee is such a big thing over there.
Oh no, not in this house. No. Yeah, but
I know not in your house, but yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it is, and I would say 10 years ago you wouldn't have seen it. 10, maybe 15 years ago, coffee machines were for snobs or very rich people, and it's only in that pods came along and made it easier that it's something more common. But everybody had Nescafe, or if you didn't like people, you give them Mellow Birds. It was a big thing. Freeze dried coffee. Now, I do want to talk a wee bit more about the after effects of this.
Yes, let's talk about it.
So, when I came home, I have been a naughty boy since probably June of this year. And I have ate, and my diet and exercises went to hell in a handbasket. And so I came back from London, and I got on the scales on Monday morning and went,
How heavy are you, Robin?
What, sorry? What?
How heavy are you?
15.4, which is you multiply by 14, guys, and add 4, so whatever that is. Yeah, 15.4.
You don't look that.
I have never been 15.4 in my life. Never, ever. Now, saying that was a lot of alcohol, because the first week, I mean, I'm back down to 14.12 or 14.11 now. So you lose it like 8 pounds because of the drink and all the food. And now I'm back to straight away back to counting calories Monday morning and eating away. Is my mic much better now, Sarah? And yeah. So the other part of this is come winter time, I lost my treadmill. It died. And my exercise stuff. So you've been out here, Greg. So inside, I used to have the treadmill and all the bits and pieces. So today I went and bought myself a exercise bike, which I picked up. And tomorrow evening I'm going to pick up a treadmill and a cross trainer, which I have those I'm not buying them brand new. I don't care. I'm a value man. So these are really good ones, and I'm going to pick them up with the car and the Jeep and the trailer tomorrow night. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that. So sensible eating, some exercise, and let's get it back into shape, because my father had a barrel. He wasn't a big fat man. He wasn't one of the big fat men, right?
Right.
But I'm starting.
But he had the barrel chest.
But I'm just starting to get his barrel belly, and I need to get rid of that. And one of the things that also, apart from the scales, Chris MJW, for some reason I got him talked into doing a silly dance in the middle of the Love Island, which was, "Ooh, you can really dance." Ooh, you can really dance. What a coincidence. Anyway, I watched some of the video back of it, and my belly is there. It's blah, 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 blah. And oh, fuck me. No. So
there's no better motivation to losing weight than seeing yourself either on camera or in pictures.
Absolutely.
Honestly and truly.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my goodness, my mic settings, I'm going to have to turn them all the way up. I can't get it any higher. Sarah, I can't get it any higher.
I'm sworn to secrecy.
Yeah. Okay. You like the
Pete,
Oh my God.
anything you want to throw in before we shoot over to Kim?
That's it. Think Fit, EGX, and Puke. I'm covered. And Puke.
What was that, Greg?
Anything you would like to talk about before we switch over to Kim here?
I was surprised at Henry VIII's packet size.
Okay, well let's set the proper stage. We went to London Tower. Inside London Tower, they have multiple kind of museum areas, and one of the central tower areas had a large like armor and weapons museum section. Yeah. And we see Henry VIII's armor, and over his cock, this giant protruding knob of armor. I mean, it was just like so obnoxious, and yet, I mean, we were all we couldn't stop staring, and maybe that was part of it. But I mean, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was like, seriously. I mean, it's one thing to cover your private region, you know, to make sure it doesn't get hit by a sword. Okay, I get it, but this was like a pig snout coming out practically. It was just bulbous.
Yep. So that's one thing that really got me. I enjoyed Camden.
Yes.
Showing sites and the shop as well.
What was that shop again? The dog something?
Cyberdog.
Bollocks.
Cyberdog, yes.
Cyberdog. If you've never been to Cyberdog in Camden before, you should go.
More importantly, if you've never been to Cyberdog, go to the 3rd level in Cyberdog.
What's in Cyberdog? I haven't heard of it before.
It's almost like a nightclub inside there. It's really dark. Music's loud. There's ultraviolet lights everywhere that light up all the clothing, but it's got various things like clocks and watches and whatever on the first floor. The 2nd level, it's mainly just clothing, and the 3rd level.
Parrot. This sounds like the blue parrot.
Yeah, the 3rd level has the blue parrot. I'm pretty sure that's what they called it.
The 3rd level's naughty stuff, but it's a wicked shop. Wicked shop.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed meeting people down there, down in London. I thought it was an amazing experience. I kind of used it as a celebration for my birthday as well. I was just taken aback by the whole thing. I thought it was fabulous. I enjoyed going swimming with Greg. I got that time as well before to get to know Greg more than anybody else, I suppose. I really enjoyed my time down there. So, I've got nothing else to add than what's already been said. It was fabulous.
Oh, okay, excellent. Well, then let's transition away from the fabulous of EGX to the fabulous known as Colton's first birthday.
Kim, have you been taking some sherbets today?
Have I been what?
Have you been drinking some sherbets today?
No, I've been drinking beer today. Oh my God. I don't even know if I can follow that up. You know, one thing about Henry VIII. I'm dead. God.
Oh dear. So
All right,
you really have interactive internet that when you're blurry, your
Yes.
your internet's blurry. That's class. Oh, Colton.
So Kim, let's walk through it. So Colton had his first birthday.
Yes, he had his birthday party yesterday. His actual birthday is not till Monday, so he'll be one tomorrow. So
Okay, all right.
yeah,
Time goes
little
by
fart's
fast.
getting bigger all the time.
I know. It
Oh,
feels like
tell me about it.
just summertime he was born.
I know,
now
right? And then
let's get to the real important thing, though. You went out and bought like a full-on weight set, like proper weights.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No slouching this time.
No, no slouching at all.
Yeah. No.
That's it.
I've hit this workout thing. I enjoy it right now. I'm sounding like tank top. This is terrible.
No, but
I do. I really enjoy it.
You've
So-
got into the habit
good.
of it now. You've created a habit and a need for it. Yeah.
You got the schedule down.
Yeah,
You
so,
do it on a regular basis.
Yeah, I do that 4 to 5 times a week. So, I if I wanted to push it longer, I could do the weekends. But damn, I gotta have a rest day sometimes. So, yeah.
Your connection is
I don't know
fucking awful.
what's going on.
I know, Kim. You
Right?
sound like you're in the middle of a tornado right now.
Yeah.
That's all right. Maybe there was a squid behind me or something. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on.
Sometimes it's the best
computer.
way to be, Kim. Sometimes I enjoy just not knowing what's going on. I think it's just fabulous.
Right?
Cool.
That is the best
That's what happened at
sometimes. Yes.
EGX,
Okay.
But, yeah.
Greg,
So.
Yes, sir.
so you've come back,
We
and your
yeah.
good wife is away.
She's already, yes. So I came back. My wife left, so I am taking care of my son Colin now solo. So you may hear him in the background. Like literally, he's outside my door right now, pretty much making all kinds of noise because he probably wants me to pay attention to him. Yet I am being a bad father and being on this podcast. It's how much I am dedicated to this podcast. Yeah, I'll probably burn in hell for that one. But yeah, no. So
All right, we'll save you a seat on the bus.
I know you guys are all going to be with me. But yeah, no, so it's going to be a crazy. I mean, EGX happened. I come home. Cindy leaves for her conference. She comes back. Then we have, wow. I have no idea what that is.
See?
No, not me.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's on my end. I have no idea.
Don't know.
I don't know. That was crazy though. Yeah.
Weird,
Apologies to anybody that had to hear that. But so Sydney comes back. Then we have Halloween, which we're already decorated for, thankfully. And then I leave for Las Vegas and New York in a back-to-back flight trip. So it's just going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy week.
Here come you again. It's Norman Reedus with another delivery. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Pelch. Don't know what's going on with the connection tonight. And the connection. That's kind of odd. Okay. Well, right. Let's get on with this. Let's keep this moving because I'm tired, so I want to keep it
Okay.
moving.
Yeah. Let's speed through this as much as possible. Especially trying to avoid the noise.
I want to play a game.
You are one pathetic loser.
That's this podcast, all right. All right, let's talk about video games. Let's see. Mark is not here. We've got Kim. Kim, you finished Red Dead Redemption 2.
I have. And as a matter of fact, I've almost finished it completely because I'm on the second epilogue now. So it's a wee bit bittersweet, I have to say. So
Did it live up to what you had hoped?
Oh my God. I sobbed like an idiot. It is bad because Tony's here with me as I'm playing it, and he just keeps looking at me like, why are you crying? I'm like, ah! So yes, it definitely lived up to the hype and more. So yeah, it's a
Better than God of War.
Weird noise again.
Kim, better than God
I
of War?
don't know. I haven't played God of War yet, but it's definitely been better than anything. Well, except for maybe Dragon Age Inquisition, although it was pretty much better than that even, and everybody knows how much I played that. So I mean, Red Dead for me is just there's no comparison to anything else other than maybe the first Red Dead. So, you know.
Yeah, I actually liked Red Dead easy for me to say. Red Dead Redemption 2 better than the original. Even though it was a prequel, and I'm not a fan of prequels, I thought they did the story so well, and I thought the development of Dutch, which I thought was really the critical component to the game. Because Dutch, he's so. I mean, look, we know what happens with Dutch because we played Red Dead Redemption. However, you know, they bring Dutch in, and he's so different than what you expect. And I was like, I kind of like Dutch. I mean, I'm shocked at how much I liked Dutch at the beginning of this game.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, he's actually an okay guy. I'm like, and then of course it just had me then in my mind. I'm like, how does he get to that other point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely did a good job of bringing all that full circle so that you see it. So, yeah. I mean, it's bad enough now. Even Tony's like, if I see Dutch, I swear to God. I'm like, dude. And I mean, he's just a little angry fella, you know. But he does not like Dutch at all. So.
And he doesn't need to. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2, it's a really good game.
Oh my God, yes. So
well, I mean, you've thoroughly tested that game now and had a ball with it. You know, you must have all the side missions and all the bits and pieces. Yeah, so
pretty much, yeah. There isn't much left. So, but it's you know, as of yesterday, it's been out a year. So, and I'm still playing it. So, you know, whether I'm just really fucking slow or it's that good, you know.
No, you got your value out of it.
It's a big game.
No, for sure.
And another actually big game, Torchlight 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fired that up again today, and I got a little farther in that. I'm still enjoying the heck out of that. So, and they've actually made some improvements. I don't know if Mark ever mentioned it or not. They did an update where now you can actually make the little map in the corner. You can pull it out, make it bigger, you know. So, because otherwise there's so much damn backtracking, and unless you don't mind backtracking, I guess that's not a big deal. But yeah, at least now you don't have to backtrack and try to unlock the whole map. You can pretty much do it from the get-go now because you can make it bigger. So that was helpful. So I don't know about the multiplayer, if they fixed the issues with that, but I'll see if when Mark gets to feeling better, I'll have to see if we can try it out. So.
All right, fair enough. We will wait for that. Pete.
Hello.
So PUBG is PUBG. Okay. We don't need to go into that other than the fact that, you know, I got a chicken dinner with Mark the other night, but, you know, we don't need to talk about that. But let's focus in on some of the new stuff. Modern Warfare, you went out, you purchased it, you did the dirty deed.
Me too.
I know, Robin did as well. Have either of you actually played the game yet?
No.
You go first, Pete. Okay, well, no, hold on. There's the difference. I bought mine on Digital. Okay, a Digital download. A Digital download.
Yep.
And I went somewhere yesterday. Started it yesterday morning, and thought, yep, no problem. It'll be ready. Time I get a wee bit of time last night. So I came out here. I don't know what time it was because you guys were online.
Right,
Greg, and I thought, yep, I'm going to play an hour here, 2 hours, and the main game I downloaded, and it was ready to start. So I pressed the start button, and up it came, and then it went, I'll try the multiplayer, because probably the campaign's still loading. Press the multiplayer button, it says, oh, no, you need the campaign packs to download. Then I'll try the single player. You need the multiplayer packs, or whatever it was. Anyway, there's this big massive friggin' download, and then there's like 3 or 4 other packs that you have to have, and I couldn't wait on it. It was very poor. It's actually very poor. It's very, very big, but if a game says there's a little line when it's downloading to say that at that point you can start playing it. Well, the only thing you could do was go in to the start menu and that's pretty much it. Now, you bought it on disc, so Pete, so your disc is probably useless because you're probably downloading the whole game anyway.
Pretty much so. I thought it'd be pretty quick. It did install it off the disc. It was consistent. It just got that constant speed. You ain't got to worry about the internet so much. But as soon as I put the disc in, it was like, this game has got an update of 89 gig. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started that. Oh my life. Okay. So I started that. And then I thought, well, I'll just wait. Surely it's not going to take longer than an hour. And I started this about, I can't remember what time I messaged now. Is it about 5, 6 o'clock? And, well, it's 10 o'clock now and it's just got to 100%. Just this minute ago. And I've pressed A to start the game. And then it just says play with an Activision account. So I've got to sign up and create an Activision account now to play the actual game, which... See, I got to the point, I think it was about 58% or something like that. It says you can start the game. So I went into it, and just like you, Robin, it went go to the menu. But there was if you go to the multiplayer option, it was almost like a little bit of a tutorial. So there was 1-on-1, 2v2, capture the flag, and I managed to play that a little bit. Did you play those?
No, none. I played the menu several times.
Yeah, Robin says the menus look very good.
Yeah. No, saying what I say from the menus, it does feel very much like Modern Warfare 2 in the menus. So I can't wait for it. I can't wait because that was my favorite. So I'm looking forward to getting back to it. So maybe after this disaster.
You played a little, Pete?
I just played a little bit of the. It's almost like a tutorial, so it just gives you the lowdown on some certain weapons and. Just to navigate yourself around, get used to the controls. So there's 1-on-1 play, 2-on-2, capture the flag. I don't think there was anything else. There was one where you have to collect the dog tags. I can't remember what that was called now. But
yeah, that's good. I like that one.
Killed someone, you couldn't. Your points wouldn't go up, and it wouldn't classed as a kill until you collect their dog tags. So there was a little bit of that as well, and it was a bit of a filler, I suppose, while it was installing. And I thought, well. It'll easily work an hour before the podcast start, and I'll be able to give some info on the campaign. Yeah. But it's literally just got to 100%, and I've got to create an Activision account before I can go even any further anyway now. So
my download wasn't going terribly slowly either, because it's not like can hit server overload. You think with loads and loads of people at it, it's just very badly packed together. I think now Sarah is saying rightly so that the Activision account is due. For you allowed to do crossplay with scummy PlayStation people. Sorry, nice PlayStation people. That's what the account is for. So if you don't want to play with them, don't set up an account. If you want to keep your console clean, don't set up that account.
I am all about crossplay. I think it is
brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
You can go offline. Yeah, you can go offline, but if you want to go online, I think you've got to create an account first before you can play. But there you go. I'm here now, so God, I'm dying to play the campaign.
Confirmed. She's right again. That's the dog tag.
Kill confirmed.
That's really good mode. That's good.
It is a good mode.
So maybe through the week I'll get a chance. Maybe after the podcast tonight, after we get it edited and up, I'll maybe get a little while. But again, I thought I was off tomorrow. It's a bank holiday in the south of Ireland tomorrow, and I like to support my southern brethren. But I've got 2 site meetings to go to tomorrow. So but tomorrow afternoon, it'll be more puke shoveling. Anyway, because the kids are off.
Can I just say one thing about PUBG though?
Yeah. One thing.
I saw the Northern Lights on one of the maps.
Okay, let's get moving on.
Okay.
Anyone see?
Moving on. You saw the Northern Lights? Yeah, no, on the snow map at nighttime.
Yeah. How cool is that?
PUBG, it's still a thing, man. It's still a thing. I absolutely enjoyed it. In fact, when we got our chicken dinner, we were on Engral, and the new version of that map is fantastic. They have added so many new things to it, and just different kind of areas with new details. And the map finished out in like a bus yard, and there were some broken down buses. And Mark and I were able to get in between 2 buses, and we just laid down There were 7 people left. We laid down until there was only 3 left. Brilliant strategy on our part, I would just like to say. And yeah, we took it.
But I think the online play is terrible now since they opened up the servers for crossplay.
I don't think it's terrible.
Oh,
I don't find it terrible. See, I think you're just playing with the wrong people, Pete.
Maybe
that's the problem. Yeah, could be. Hey, let's talk about another game, which is Outer Worlds.
Yeah, that's getting a lot of buzz this week, and I've downloaded
It
it.
is.
So, what is it all about?
Yeah, so this is the new game from Obsidian. It is on all platforms. So it's on PlayStation 4, it's on PC, it's on Xbox. It's also coming to Switch. So Switch owners, just know you can potentially get this on the Switch down the road. Made by Obsidian. Microsoft bought Obsidian. A lot of people were freaked out that the game wasn't going to come to their platforms once that happened, but they kept it multi-platform, so everybody gets it. This is the same developer that made Fallout New Vegas. And this game feels like the Fallout game everybody wanted when Fallout 76 was announced.
Oh, right, okay,
really?
Really?
It's Fallout in space in a way. It's not the big open worlds. It's more smaller bite-sized worlds. But it really feels very Fallout-like. Instead of the VAR system, I think it's the VAR system. In that respect. I'm sorry. What?
That's right. VATS.
VATS. Yes, thank you. VATS. Instead of the VAT system, they have a time slowdown. So same kind of concept, but instead of just stopping time completely, you slow down time. And then you're able to, use your weapons more effectively. But I will say the shooting in the game feels really tight. So it's not really that big of a problem to begin with.
Sorry, I'm hearing sheep at the moment.
No, you're hearing my son. Oh. My son just outside my door. So there you go. Ireland and some sheep. That's what I'm giving you, Robin. Okay. I'm giving you some of your home.
I was getting excited.
So by the time it was out.
Yeah. No, my son is literally on the other side of my door right now, being pissed off that I'm not playing with him.
Oh, sorry, Colin.
So yeah. But no, so you play the role of a kind of a colonist that is pulled out from hibernation when your ship is going kind of sideways, for lack of a better way to put it. I don't want to give too much away about the story, but here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
This game uses comedy really well.
Oh,
and that's
something dry stuff, isn't it? I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, sarcasm, dry comedy, but it is effective, and you don't get that in a lot of games. It's really hard for video games to pull off comedy outside of doing just very, very campy comedy bits. Kind of like Borderlands. Borderlands is the king of joke telling.
And cosplay.
And cosplay, yes. Let's not forget the cosplay. But this game, it's like genuine funny moments. And I'm surprised how many times I found myself laughing out loud and finding just funny elements to the dialogue and the story bits, as opposed to every other game I've played where I usually kind of cringe at the comedy. So it is a really solid Fallout-like game. If you like Fallout, but you don't necessarily want the big open worlds, you want something a little more bite-sized,
yep,
this is absolutely the game for you.
Excellent. I'm definitely going to give it a go. I've downloaded lots of stuff this week, including that. And some of the
stuff. And important to note, it is on Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Game Pass for PC as well. So Xbox or PC, if you've got Game Pass, it's a no-brainer.
And another note, it's 36 gig. So it ain't going to take long.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
I think it took
no modern
half an hour to download, so...
That's just amazing, the thing. You just casually say 36 gig. You know?
Yeah.
I remember when games were like 30K.
Yeah, but then again, when you're talking about 36 gigs versus 100K or 100 gigs, it's kind of easy to casually throw it out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Or an update.
Exactly.
Excellent. Good.
All right, let's keep this moving along. We want to make sure we get all the old folk to bed on time.
Be good.
Here is the fucking
All right, so a week that I thought would be pretty quiet actually had quite a bit of little news bits. I'm hearing some echo again. Apologies for the audio quality.
No idea.
Part of it may be, so we're having severe windstorms up here right now. I'm wondering if it's affecting the I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, all right. Yes, everybody's passing gas.
Just talking about him as he is now.
Yep. All right, so news. Look, if you were excited to play Last of Us 2 in February, I am sorry to say you will not be playing it in February. You have to wait now until May. They officially delayed The Last of Us Part 2 until May 29th, 2020. So still coming this year, or next year. Yeah. Still coming next year. It'll be, in May. So at least they're not holding it out until the launch of the new consoles. There's that.
Don't worry, they'll have
Indeed.
like a lot of these games that are coming out this year or in the next 6 or 8 months will have the next generation version of it, so you'll be buying it twice.
Oh yeah. You'll be able to buy this twice.
Yeah.
There's also rumors that Ghost of Tsushima is also going to be delayed out until the launch cycle. So we'll see. We'll see how this all pans out. Lots of delays, more stuff on that coming. Twitch star Shroud. I don't know if you know any of the Twitch stars. Shroud, I guess he was a big deal, kind of like Ninja. He has gone over to Mixer. Microsoft landed him. Apparently, it's a big deal. I don't know if it's a big deal or not. I don't watch anybody play games on Twitch. Yeah, exactly. Ninja is the only name I officially knew on Twitch.
I bet he's not as big as Cat from friggin' Red Dwarf.
Probably not. No, that was a big deal. All right. The biggest news of the week, Mike Chin and I had an interview with a developer at EGX on the game Narcos Rise of the Cartels.
Yeah.
And the developer told us he couldn't give us the release date. And he said the release date was going to be coming soon, but he couldn't tell us then. We tried. We tried multiple ways, different techniques, wouldn't spill the beans at all. Well, they came out with it on Friday. Rise of the Cartels, Narcos Rise of the Cartels, based on the Netflix television series, comes out November 19th on PC and PS4, and November 21st for the Switch, and November 22nd for the Xbox One. So if you're wondering what this game is, it could very well be Game of the Year, because it is an XCOM-like clone game, strategy game. So if you're not into strategy games, it's just because you're dumb. And
I'm out.
Yep.
Sorry, I just called both of you dumb. But anyway, I played it. I played it at EGX. I loved it. I liked what I played of it. So I'm very excited for this game.
Strategy games. So yeah.
I've played this game as well, right? And I'll give you my review as well. This game is an absolute pile of shit. I won't look at the cover. I won't even download it. I won't even recommend it to anyone. So it's.
It looks good, Pete. It does look good.
No, see. Okay, so here's the funny thing. So Pete's brother Mike liked it, but Pete, the moment he had to think, the moment we asked him to actually strategize and take his little ginger brain and expand it out to think about strategy, he couldn't do it.
You don't need to think to it.
Pete, I watched you trying to work out what sock to put on first.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, and you couldn't work that out. Jeez, it was a nightmare. It was like steam was coming out of your ears. It was smoke. My God, what am I going to do? If I put this one on first, what will happen? What will happen? What will the other one
wear
do?
Pants. You know that's
plastic pants. That's my strategy, just in case. Just in case. That's my strategy. Be prepared. There's some things you can't unsee, Pete.
I know. I can't talk about plastic pants.
Just do not buy this game. I'm getting back on subject. I'm keeping away from the plastic.
No, incorrect, Pete. That is a bad characterization. This game is not a bad game at all. This is a strategy game, though. So if you're not into strategy, obviously, okay, it's not going to be your cup of tea. But don't be coming across like this is some bad game that you shouldn't buy. This is it's an XCOM-like game. So if you like XCOM and those types of games, then absolutely this is going to be your cup of tea. Yeah. If you're like Pete and you have a more simple view on life, then no, this is probably not going to be your thing.
Excuse me. If you look up a video game and shooting shit and just not even thinking about what you're doing and like blood and guts and buy Death Stranding. I mean, don't buy this game. What was all that?
All right, we're gonna move on. Pete's wrong. We're moving on. Hey, look, if you were excited to play any Ubisoft game next year, guess what? It's delayed.
Oh no!
They pretty much delayed. They pretty much delayed almost every game from Ubisoft next year. So, Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, all now are arriving late 2020. They all were slated for like first half. They're not coming out for a while. And the long-awaited game Skull and Bones, which honestly, I can't believe this game is still coming out at this point. This is the pirate ship game that they announced, I think, 2 years back. That's now not coming out until at least, and that's the quote from them, at least 2021. So I think this game is potentially on its death throes. But yeah,
says perfect timing for PS5 and the Xbox.
True,
whatever,
very true.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, apparently Ubisoft was very disappointed by the earnings of not only Ghost Recon Breakpoint, but also The Division 2, both underperforming for them. And so they decided they were just going to push everything out and push it into next fiscal year. And hopefully with the new consoles, there'll be an uptick in those games as well.
Again, as Sarah says in the chat, we can't answer this question. Use Merkins. Have to answer the question. When does Holiday 2020 actually start?
Holiday 2020 is roughly October. Usually the end of September is kind of when the cutoff is. So September is kind of, so you think of it in quarters. October, November, December is the fall quarter. We're not talking about that game. But the fall quarter, the October, November, December is typically speaking holiday. So there you go.
Anytime before Black Friday.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Former Xbox executive Mike Ybarra, he left Microsoft. Everybody was wondering where he was going to go. Turns out he is the new GM at Blizzard, which interesting time for him to join Blizzard, given all of the kerfuffle over the Chinese thing. Blizzard, of course, got into a little bit of hot water over. They basically banned. I forgot the guy's name, but one of their tournament players made a political statement about China and supporting the China protesters, and Blizzard straight up banned him. They denied him his winnings, and they, said, you're not welcome back to any of our tournaments for a year. They have since given his winnings back to him and said, well, you earned those winnings, but they're not allowing him back in the tournament scene for at least 6 months. So Ybarra's joining a kind of a tumultuous time for Blizzard. Be interesting to see how they handle.
I'm sorry to get this way, but God forbid anybody that has an opinion in this world these days. The man and the money. We've seen this with the basketball thing at the moment as well. Where the money is, don't upset the money. Forget all the political stuff aside. I think that's quite a good fit for him. So whether there's enough for him to do there, I don't know. All right. Well, we'll see. Good luck.
All right. And last story, Google. Actually, quite a bit of stuff happened with Google, but the big thing was they opened up their first studio dedicated to making Stadia games. That was officially announced. My son is excited about it, obviously.
Stadia, it's the future. It's coming in.
It is the future, apparently. Yeah, no. So they're dedicated to making first-party content, which is exciting. But you have to wonder, how long is this going to take for this to come about? I mean, if they're just opening the studio up now, and it's located in Montreal, according to Jade Redman, typical dev cycles are at least 2 to 3 years, and that's kind of short. So we'll see. I wouldn't expect anything exclusive in terms of produced by them for quite a while.
Well, my Stadia, I think it's come as the 12th or the 20th of November, so it'll be here very, very soon. I'll give you an opinion. It'll be interesting to see how it all works. Okay.
Yeah, well, one thing that won't work, Robin, is you won't be able to use your Stadia over mobile.
That's going to be
only
interesting for me because I use mobile to make my connection. So my mobile device goes into my network and then Wi-Fi in the house. So I wonder what will happen with that.
That is interesting because Google said that you have to have a Wi-Fi connection in order to use Stadia.
No. Oh, well, okay. Wi-Fi is different. Okay, so like, it's not hardwired. Wi-Fi will work.
It's probably something to do with the IP address. I would have thought.
Why
That's what I'm
not
thinking.
mobile?
But they're saying it will not work over mobile data servers right now.
It mightn't work for me at all then.
Now, that'll be interesting because that was, to be perfectly honest, they promised at the beginning of it that it would.
Yeah.
And now they've kind of taken a step back and saying, well, that's not going to work yet.
Do you know
Supposedly,
all that
down the
shit
road.
costs?
Yeah, pretty much. So down the road, it is supposed to work that way. But for now, they're saying only Wi-Fi or landline, obviously. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. I know Matt was asking me a question about who was at the dinner. He asked me a question on Twitter, which I didn't reply to, but he was saying he was getting pissed off because he was trying to get information about what games would be available, and there's very, very little information online about, what is coming. So,
well, Doom Eternal was supposed to be their big exclusive, and that got also pushed out. So it's pretty much going to be a lot of games that are already out. And in fact, you can see it. Matt, if you're listening to this, go check out Game Informer has a game calendar list on their site, and that's usually what we reference for our upcoming games. And what you'll see in there is they typically list Stadia as a platform, even if Stadia is not out yet. They'll list it as a game that's going to be on potentially Stadia. So I think if you just go back the past probably two months back, you'll see what past games have that are going to be on Stadia as well.
Cool. Okay, we've got an email, Greg.
Yeah, Robin. In fact, I'm going to have one of you guys read that email.
Yeah.
I'm going to go have a check on the little guy.
Okay.
Go on, I'll read.
Yeah, you do that, Pete, please.
Okay, so, hi guys. To Greg, Pete, Phil, Robin, and Mark, I just wanted to say what a great time I had with you all at the EGX house. I would happily spend another weekend with you at any time. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I hope I didn't spoil anyone's enjoyment. Thanks for teaching me how to play poker. Not sure what was going on, but it was fun. Thanks again, Pilch.
And he's the man that drew with the poker, so he was second in the poker. So yeah, lucky beginners. Luck there, is that what it is, Pilch? Look, dude, as I said earlier on, you're a cunt. So I don't know if I could commit to spending the whole weekend with you ever again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his favourite words as well, Pilch, isn't it?
No, that was great. No, thanks very much. That was very nice of you to write that in. And it was. I think we all feel the same, Pilch, about everybody. I think we all got on well together. So that was brilliant. Kim, would you take on these sort of new release things, will you, please? Can you get those? Yeah.
Sure. I can do that. Yeah. Alrighty. Your new releases for October 19th through the 27th are Moons of Madness for the PC on October 22nd. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 for PlayStation 4 on the 22nd. WWE 2K20 was also out on the 22nd, which apparently is a buggy mess, so you might want to avoid that. Lonely Mountains Downhill for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, Mac, and Linux on the 23rd, which I swear to God thought had something to do with Hobbit and Smog, but apparently it doesn't. So go figure. Cat Quest 2 for the Switch out on October 24th. Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on the 25th. Medieval, which is something I'm looking forward to, for the PlayStation 4 was out on the 25th. And of course, The Outer World for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on the 25th as well. And those are your new releases.
Hey, how many times do we see Linux being mentioned as a gaming platform these days? I remember for a while,
right?
It was like, oh, that's the new big thing, and I think this is the first time we've heard it mentioned, and I couldn't tell you how long. So, yeah, that's the thing. All right, thanks, Kim. Perfect, Robin.
Play dates and stuff like that there. I don't know really what's going on at the moment. We're in hiatus. We'll get our act together next week again.
Holiday hiatus for now. So we'll move on.
Victory achieved. Finish your games. Send stuff off to @OC_podcast with a photograph and stuff and the hashtag victory achieved, and you win money. Okay. And Kim finished Red Dead Redemption 2. Generally, Jim he finished Gears 5, and Dave 3omatic finished Doom. And John Mouse finished something as well. He done something on the Xbox 360, which is something that he likes to do. And John Mouse finished that too. But I don't care this week. Sorry.
See where I rate. I mean, what?
John Mouse finished. He loved it. Enemy Front on. No, it was Enemy Front. One last word. It's called Enemy Front, and it was on the Xbox 360. And he says, "What a hidden gem!" So there you go, and that was fantastic. Yeah. You do that, and you win money and shit like that, and then that's sort of we do this stuff. Then
You all have a victory achieved. Victory is achieved. You have one. Victory is achieved.
I want to go home.
That was kind of like the cross of Robin. I'm trying to hurry up, and Kim, I'm drunk version of explaining victory achieved. That's pretty much what that was.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Enough of that shit. Let's move on.
I did better, but I guess not.
Obviously, we have no quiz this week because Mark decided to have a headache.
No clothes. What?
Yeah. Kim, is that what?
Hello, my fellow podcast family.
All right. Let's just wrap this up.
Yep.
If you are listening to this right now, we are on Twitch, we're on Mixer, we're on YouTube. Come check us out. 9 p.m. in the UK, 1 p.m. on the West Coast normally, 4 p.m. on the East Coast normally, 6 p.m. Easter Island normally, and 7 a.m. in Australia. I think kind of all the time. I don't know.
Not on top of Airs Rock.
On iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher. We're everywhere you can download an audio podcast normally. Give us a review. We would love a review.
Maybe not this week.
Maybe not this week.
Maybe not, yeah.
But listen to this.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
You like us. We like you.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
This? Follow us on Twitter at @OC_podcast.
I was like, listen to this.
Check us out on Facebook. FB.
Something serious is going to happen. Listen to this. He did this.
podcast@ocpod.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, Nicole, you are my popsicle. Oh, Nicole.
This is what a non-sober podcast sounds like. All right, let us just shout it out. Pete, start us off, please. Number 13, take us home.
Well, I'm gonna shout out Activision for doing a shit job in giving me Call of Duty. That's it. Got nobody else to shout out. This is the bit I always get wrong. Is it?
Say a name.
Kim.
The pressure.
Kim.
Alrighty, there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna shout out our shatters real quick. We've had RCGC, Sarcastic Pilch, Commander Root, Lurks, Zane, Kyber, and Host Me Raffle, which I'm still pretty sure is a bot. Other than that, I want to shout out Empower343. That's Matt on Twitter, who gave me an extra donation. So thank you, sir, for that. And if you're curious about the ears, it's because it's Halloween. Well, festive, so nobody else did apparently, but that's all right. So. Yeah. Oh, and if you want to reach me, I'm GamerGirl27 on Twitter and Xbox and some weird variation on PlayStation. You can find me if you look hard enough. So, all right. How about you there, Bongo?
Yeah, you'll get me at bongo_dangling_bits.com, I believe, and at bongo_someone had me a bucket. _the same, and of course I want to shout out Mark _ not tonight, honey, I have a headache. And of course Pete at I'm totally there tomorrow morning for a swim _chinny. Absolutely fantastic, guys. Look here, everybody I've seen at EGX, all the guys, Game Over, Step J, you drunken skunk, you Hards for buying that bottle of tequila. That was fantastic. Steph J.
It was really good tequila.
Yeah, that was good tequila. Yeah, and it just kept on coming. So yeah, like thank you everybody that helped make my EGX just friggin' fantastic. And I hope to see you all next year.
Shout out to you and Mike. You put in all that work. Fair play to you and Mike for putting in all that work, because that's a lot of admin and
I'd really like to shout at your brother Pete, but he just showed up.
He's gonna kill you for that.
Yeah. Well, he did help with the raffle. There, he was my assistant in the raffle. Love you, Mike. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, see you all next week. Thanks very much. I'm at Bongo the Sea, and I'm in Northern Ireland. I'm in Ballymena, and if you want to swap places with me tonight, you can. I'll sleep here. You can go in and shovel the puke. Greg.
No.
Well, first and foremost, a big shout out for Extra Life. It is coming up, so support Kim, support me. We both are partaking in Extra Life this year. And we have our various donation pages. Just look us up. Go to extralife.com or .org. I think it's .org. And do a search for Greg DeLacy or Kim Woods. You'll find our page, or just VG Hub. Just look for the team, VG Hub, and you'll find us. Donate. It's a good cause. It's a worthy cause. And I want to shout out Pete. I want to shout out Robin. I want to shout out Kim. As always, you've made my Sunday just a little bit more fun, a little bit brighter, a little bit sunnier, although it's pretty darn sunny outside. I want to shout out, let's see, I want to make this longer. How can we make this podcast? No, I'm kidding around. All right. Let's just wrap this up. A big shout out to all of our listeners. Thank you so much. We love you guys. A shout out to Hards, by the way. This needs to be talked about. He lined up these tequila shots for us at the restaurant. We get up there, and I'm like, all right, let's do our tequila shots and get this over with. And we do the tequila shots, and then he's like, you guys got to help me finish the bottle.
Oh, God, I must have had about 8 of those that night. Yeah,
he bought the frickin' bottle.
Yeah.
Which you don't see that often. That's like, you see that in the movies. You never see that in real life.
No.
So, yeah. He bought a bottle of tequila.
Was the funniest. Oh my life! Well, it just got that look of a 10-year-old child who was just listening to his bad conscience, and he was there considering whether to take the 3rd and 4th shot. And
who is this? Who?
Mark. He was just self-analyzing, and he was really, really in deep thought. And then something took over him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll have another one," and he was up.
Yeah. There was a lot of firsts for Mark on that trip.
Yes, first gay experience, absolutely nailed. All right, that's it. We're done. Let the drinks flow. Enjoy the rest of your evening, if you have some evening left to enjoy. Otherwise, we're sorry it's Monday.
See you guys. One final note: this will be edited tomorrow afternoon and uploaded then, not this evening. I am not getting cookies.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast.
Oh, this screen.
See you same time next week.